I'm a witch. I'm a wizard. I'm not. I'm the Schiller. Okay, dude, welcome. What's going on? We got another show for you today. This is XFeed. If this is your first time tuning in, we've been covering Web3 and NFTs for quite a while, and all of a sudden, people are paying attention again, and I'm getting comments. Yesterday, I got one on my TikTok that said, people are still yapping about NFTs. True. That they are. Okay. There's a lot that we got to go into, so let's kind of just jump into it here. Kush highlighting at current prices, that's almost $40 million airdrop to 22,000 wallets. We've seen the pixels online take off. We're going to get into some stuff with Ronin and around the whole Binance listing in a little bit, but we're continually seeing almost every single day some big ecosystem airdrop being announced, and it looks like Optimism here. Create together and benefit together. That's the super chain. Today, Optimism unveils airdrop number 4, allocating 10 million plus Optimism to over 22,000 unique addresses. First, a note on security. Check the documentation for specifics. Only trusted tweets from Optimism and the Optimism governments. Airdrops target constructive participation, and tokens empower contributors. What the hell is a contributor? Can we be a contributor? Maybe. Probably not. Airdrop number 4 is a heartfelt thank you to the visionaries shaping culture across the superchain. Over 200,000 addresses have brought NFT collections into the world, crafting the tale of the Optimism Collective. Artists, you're the lifeblood of the collective. Eligibility details for airdrop number 4 were locked in on January 10th. And then they go into just a little bit more about how you can claim, yada, 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 yada. But either way, that just tells us, again, all this liquidity is about to flow into the market. When people find stuff and they're like, wow, I didn't think I was going to get something, and then I did. Well, what are they going to go searching for? Well, whatever they're interested in. And whatever they're interested in is usually whatever the narrative around the space is. So that's why I keep bringing up paying attention to the narratives and seeing what's going to be aggressive and interesting. So the title of this stream is regarding big brands. And the reason I wanted to bring it up was because we saw Wembanyama, today, I guess, at 10:50 a.m., showed that he is partnering with Louis Vuitton that does NFTs. No YouTube. It should be on YouTube. Is it not? That might be awkward if it's not. Yo, if you're on YouTube, give me a shout. I don't really want to restart the stream, but I'll save it and upload to YouTube after if it's not on there. But I appreciate you coming through, Mr. Dip Collector. So back to the point. So Victor Wembanyama, if you don't know, is a huge NBA star. People are thinking that he might be Rookie of the Year. A lot of interest is because he was the #1 draft pick this year. And Louis Vuitton launched an NFT before. Now, if you go look it up, you'll see like a ton of headlines out there. The strategy behind Louis Vuitton's 39,000 euro digital treasure box, etc., etc. But when you go and check out their site, let's kind of look and see what it was, because I'm pretty sure these sold out, but I don't know why these companies always try to do these like moving websites, right? So we have the Stylo one, which is like optimized for mobile, but is awful when you're on a PC. The Yuga Labs one just doesn't work when we tried it the other day. This Louis Vuitton thing is going like literally as slow as humanly possible. I don't get it. I don't get it. Louis Vuitton explores a new facet of its savoir-faire by unveiling Via, the first digital trunk from the Mason. All right. Where can we get the info without the stuff? Is this just the site? Okay, dude. So I guess this just popped up at the time, like when they were selling it, but I mean, Art of Living, bags, trunks, like services, World of Louis Vuitton. Maybe it's under this, but they don't even have like a special segment to hire what that was. That's ridiculous. Arf. What's up, Poddle? How are you? Because you have like 5,000 tabs open. Okay, maybe that's a fair assessment, Buffalo, but I am going to argue against that and say, other sites don't have that problem. It's only the ones that are on top. Okay, so Louis Vuitton doesn't even highlight this anymore, but they charge like a bajillion dollars for it. But the question is, realistically, is it innovation that these big companies are coming into the space, or is it an invasion, realizing, hey, there's a whole bunch of money to be made within the space? Now, you have a couple different ways of looking at that. Obviously, you know, being within Web3, and we're like, hey, it's cool to see these big brands have these Web3 experiences. And then on the other hand, people question it because a lot of the times it's not implemented in a way that many people would like. But, you know, we're talking about celebrities and whatnot. And I mean, hey, I know a guy in the Schillerverse Discord that's a huge Wembanyama fan. And so maybe he wishes that they got the Louis Vuitton trunk. So speaking of celebrities, Zir here had an interesting breakdown of looking at all the social followings of people that publicly spoke out saying that they had an ape. So Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Fallon, Eminem, Steph Curry, DJ Khaled, Marshmello, Post Malone, Logan Paul, Future, Martin Garrix, Lil Baby, Steve Aoki, Gary Vaynerchuk, and it's kind of nuts when you like go down the list and you're like, okay, wow. So if we actually have all these people that are, I mean, I guess representing something, it does bring a pretty stupid amount of awareness, especially when you kind of like look and be like, okay, so that's 85 million, 71 million, 50, like you add all these up, like that's like 100 million plus people. That's crazy, bro. And from different audiences as well, because not all of them kind of are into the same thing that would attract the exact same fan base. But still, looking at the celebrities on this list, holy smokers. Now, quick talks here about Yuga, then we'll get to the other topics here. I noticed this and I thought that's interesting because for the heavy metal game, if you remember that everybody was playing passively for a while and then it kind of died. For their next evolution that's supposed to be coming within, I think, the next few weeks, dogs were a part of that to upgrade. But I think a lot of people forgot about that. So, I mean, I'm not buying or anything, but it's interesting that we're seeing some Bored Ape Kennel sweeps ahead of that. And also the Magic Eden Marketplace, you can now buy with Ape. This is the stuff that we like to see, baby, because we have all these tokens, right? Think of whatever token you're in, whether it's Pixel, Huddle Hill, I see you, with the Sappy Seals, whether it's Root, if you're in Futureverse, whether it is Banana, if you're in Cybercongs, right? We can go down the list, but you know, most of the marketplaces that have those kind of coins integrated are ones that are just kind of run by the team and, you know, a rewards pool of some sort. But seeing, you know, you can pay in Ape on Magic Eden, that is a spicy meatball. We actually saw Ape actually kind of do a little bit of a ripper here recently. I don't know if it's an entire market thing, but it's pretty substantially up over the last couple of days after the FUD settled down. Yeah, and if we look at the past 7 days, up 21% on that one. Phil highlighting also the Made by Apes, and I think this is really, really cool, and I just want to highlight this because I don't think a lot of people get to see it, but these are brands made by apes, and so they have Half-Baked, they have this wine, they have dog treats, they have crypto security, they have more brewing, they have things where you can buy I guess bee or honey, honey bee house, whatever that is. I'm not gonna like go through all of them here, but it is really, really cool that if you give people some capital that are motivated, they can, you know, they can do some pretty cool stuff out there, and that is neat to see. And it's cool that it's highlighted in like an efficient space where everybody can go and look at. Okay, Force is doing a mint on Bitcoin ordinals, and their phase 4 public sale is 0.016 BTC. Okay, now my question, I'm going to get called a fudder. I'm realizing that, but this is why it's great because I don't tweet these things. I just talk about it. And the only thing that matters is you and I, because we're here and we get to discuss it. What has Force done exactly, which makes sense for them to launch like another mint now? Like, I mean, I don't know. I know they got acquired. There was the rumors of them doing the animation or the anime token with Izuki and some of these other collections and whatnot. But I just like, okay, so they're doing a Bitcoin ordinals mint. What exactly for? I still think the IP, all this kind of stuff is neat, but I just like why? We want to get into the Bitcoin ordinals thing. We want to give something extra for the community. Why? Now this is maybe one of the coolest things that I've seen. I don't know how the hell they're going to implement it, to be completely frank with you, but this is sweet. So from Cyberkongs, Genkai sprites are here. And Genkai is Cyberkong's NFT that's on the Ronin network, just to be clear. Every single Genkai will be paired with its own unique one-to-one sprite. Our mission is to integrate the Genkai collection into every single game that comes to Ronin Network and deliver the best experiences possible. First stop, Pixels Online. Sprites will be available to be downloaded this week. So I don't think there's like a massive collection of these. Like it's not like 10,000 or something. I think it's 2,000. But if they're actually able to integrate these NFTs in every game that launches on Ronin, number one, I don't get how that would happen, because if you're coming in and you're like, hey, I want to create a game, are we just going to have all these games that aren't in their own fashion, their own world, and it's, a mix match of this multi-world, and just every game we have is an MMORPG of every different NFT collection out there? Or is it just like, hey, there's going to be some kind of passive thing that you get to be involved with from this collection or that collection? But still, either way, that's really, really cool that CyberKongs are doing that for the Ronin network. Now, I saw this and it made me think for a second, and this might be alpha. So which guild will dominate the Axie Infinity Classic Guild leaderboard? So let's talk about it for a second. Do you guys remember guilds in the early days? Now, early days, I'm talking about like 2021, and people were going out and they were saying, for Guild of Guardians, as an example, we want to buy these guilds. We're going to have huge esports things. There was a ton of money that got put into it. From Sandbox as well, kind of the same ordeal, and we can kind of go down the list. But the idea was that there was going to be all these people, similar to how heavy metal worked, where there was a bunch of people, on these. It wasn't officially like a team per se on the standings or anything, but they all worked together for this. But for these other games, that was the idea. They also went pretty much all in on a whole bunch of land. Now, I feel like the whole guild aspect and DAOs as a whole has really, really trailed off. But at some point, I feel that it's highly likely when prices start going up, people have that FOMO that they get together. They say, hey, we want to dominate a certain game. We want to get into this. And then people are like, oh, baby mama. You know what I mean? Like, I think that guilds are completely forgotten about, kind of the same as DAOs. And for these collections that really build something that's interesting, that's just something to keep an eye on. So Tiffany Fong releasing a photo here of SBF in jail. Now, this might be kind of difficult to see because it's kind of like a crop thing. So feel free to like pause, look really close. But this is SBF over here. And I mean, man, the whole story around everything for SBF has been unbelievable. We go from this multi-billionaire who's with all these famous celebrities to this, and it just feels weird. But Tiffany Fong did kind of a breakdown here after getting these photos. It's a quick 5-minute clip, but I thought it was kind of interesting. If you want your update on SBF.
What's up, guys? It's me, Tiff. And okay, listen, I've made some new friends, some new recent inmate friends, much to my parents' chagrin. But I've managed to get my hands on the first and I believe the only photos of Sam Bankman-Fried ever since he was thrown in jail in MDC Brooklyn in August 2023. In case you don't remember, Sam Bankman-Fried obviously already went to trial, but no one can bring electronics into the courtroom, so there were no photos of Sam that came out. And from my understanding, no one's allowed to bring electronics into prison or jail visits, so there may never be any more photos that come out of Sam Bankman-Fried since he's already in jail. So here are the photos, and I've actually interviewed this man standing beside Sam Bankman-Fried. I call him G-Lock, and he's an ex-Blood gang member, and I'll be posting the interview on my YouTube channel in the next few days. My YouTube channel is just my name, Tiffany Fong. Also, according to G-Lock, these photos were taken on December 17th, 2023, because apparently inmates are only allowed to take photos on Christmas and Father's Day. So anyway, this photo is somewhat recent. It was taken after Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted on all 7 criminal charges. And as you can see, he's hanging out with other inmates, and he looks a little bit out of place, and he's obviously lost some weight, and I've heard that he's not showering very much. He's not as clean-shaven as he used to be, but he's obviously going through a lot right now.
Listen, first and foremost, my son Sam Bankman is clean shaven. You heard? Was clean shaven. Now, scruffy than a motherfucker. Like he got a full beard.
Does he have a full beard?
Literally, full beard connection.
Sorry if you're watching with kids, didn't realize it was swearing. Like, yo, what's going on, Ray?
I never did it before. Like really, you know what's depressing though, for me? Sam had a belly when I met him. He had a belly, he was eating good, you know? Mm-hmm. Skinny, like a toothpick right now. Like, he's not getting in the shower, he's not doing anything. Like, he lost it, so, like, you know.
Yeah, he's not showering?
Not showering.
Yeah, Gene told me he wasn't showering back in the day.
No,
he wasn't showering.
Do you think it's because he's afraid of the rumors about dropping the soap, or do you think he just...
Yeah, oh, shit. That laugh was way too loud. What the hell? Sorry.
That's what I was wondering about.
I'll say, I don't think so. Like, you know,
Really?
those are things that used to happen in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. Like this era, that's not really going to happen.
Doesn't happen
like
anymore? He doesn't want to make himself too pretty for the other men. Oh, so it doesn't. That stuff doesn't happen.
Nah, that's the kind of.
That's good. So no one's beating him up.
Nah, nobody's beating him up.
Good.
You know, it was just that one incident.
I hope that me posting this photo doesn't upset Sam, but G-Lock said that when the picture was being taken, it was around Christmas. And apparently Sam was like, oh, so I'm not in the photo, so he joined the photo. So, I mean, the photo exists, so I'm just saying, I'm not trying to piss Sam off by posting the photo. So again,
I'm not trying to piss Sam off.
With G-Lock in the next few days. I'm just a really slow editor, and I don't have a team to help me, so I'm doing all of this myself, and I don't really know what I'm doing, okay? But I did want to include this little clip with G-Lock that we took after the interview, because according to G-Lock, Sam Bankman-Fried is more gangster than Tekashi 6ix9ine. Sam didn't snitch on anyone.
He ain't snitch on nobody. Sam is a gangster. My mom told you that if he was black, he'd be a real nigga. Real shit, bro.
So Sam has some street cred now because he's not a snitch.
Yeah, he's official. Sam is more gangster than Tekashi 6ix9ine.
He's more gangster than what?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, there's. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, so when we're looking back at the whole SBF stuff, right? Like, do you? What's the right word of wording this? Did you think that he was going to go to jail? Because I think the thought was like, everybody was like, okay, like, yeah, he's going to jail. And then the question was like, okay, like, is it a shorter sentence? Is he going to be able to buy his way out of that? And then like it started to progress and you're like, okay, like it doesn't seem like that's exactly like going to happen. You know what I mean? You're like, initially have some faith. And then now it's like, yeah, not really. But damn, man, that guy looks totally different. I mean, he called Sam Bankman-Fried my son. That's too good. Holy crap. Sam is a gang member now. The way the apple has ripened. So there's your little SBF update if you haven't seen that on the timeline yesterday. So Quad's highlighting something here, and I want to talk a little bit about Blast here for a second. So I just joined When Exchange, early access to claim When, pre-token airdrop. When is the #1 NFT marketplace on Blast L2? So Blast hasn't launched yet. So I don't know how the hell it's the #1 marketplace unless we're just saying like that's the marketing and that's, the only thing that exists. With native yield and zero trading fee. So if you're wanting to look into this, I guess you can get some early access now. It's got about 40,000 followers. It's at when_exchange. This is only for real early comers before the main net launch eyes. Okay. Now, with that said, I thought that it's interesting here because I'm like, okay, when the Blast thing came out, there was all the conversations about, oh, it's all the funds are in this particular wallet, that we know a whole lot about that. Do you just believe Pac-Man, et cetera, et cetera? And then everybody started vying for a spot within Blast for their developer program because everybody realized that is a lot of money that's about to be in there. And so Arad's here saying, I too like Blast, but the ecosystem is going to be Jeet Central for a few months as grifter devs from all corners of the earth are gathering for the event. Don't fall for it. So again, this is just kind of like a word to mention whenever we have a new opportunity, right? Where Say got really hot. I mean, I feel like there was a decent amount of Say collections that were great, but also at the same time, there was a lot of ones that didn't really get that mainstream traction or anything that ended up not being any good, but people just went to that chain because it was the new hot thing, right? And we've seen this pattern kind of repeatedly, and I'm curious if you guys have any hot takes regarding Blur, but it is going to be an interesting dilemma as the first little bit of the chain launches and people kind of have full faith in everything until something doesn't go the right way. Interesting here from Chris. 3 years ago, my life was changed forever. Reflecting back, I've stayed true to my path, understood the meme ticks since the beginning, and I'm proud to have helped so many artists since. So 3 years ago today, Nyan Cat became the first big meme to sell as an NFT for 300 ETH, approximately $600,000. So kind of cool. Huge shout out for that 3 years ago. Sheesh. Felt FOMO. See you guys in Paris. What events are happening? Have you guys looked at what is going on for NFT Paris? I bet not, you silly goose. The largest Web3 event. Is this actually bigger than NFT NYC? So buy tickets, become a sponsor. Let's go check out some of the different aspects within this. The Grand Police Fair, where finance, gaming, art, fashion, sport, media converge to celebrate the era of digital assets. NFT Paris. Yo, Crafter, what's going on? Thanks for the raid, sir. Dude, what happened to Farcast? Yeah, I follow you on Farcast. You post a lot because I don't see a lot of people post on Farcaster, but we're there, baby. Appreciate you. NFT Paris hosted 18,000 visitors for its second edition, and it's returning for its third edition to this iconic venue on the 23rd and 24th of February 2024. Expect 100 plus exhibitors, immersive installations, a large hackathon with top tier developers. We bring together builders, investors, yada 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 yada. Okay, so we got Polygon, we got Aave and Lens, sponsors, Pudgy Penguins, we got Van Eck, Polygon, Ledger. I don't know if that's Utes. That might be Utes. Yeah, the D-Gods is highlighted in the video here. For the tickets. Sheesh. So for an attendee, it's £480. For a VIP access one, it's £1,240. Yeesh. If we go to the speakers here, does this match VCon? Is it better? Is it worse? LVMH, First Light, Yuga Labs, Animoca Brands. Oh, that's kind of cool. So they have Yatsui and Daniel Allegre. They have Devin from OpenSea. Agnes from Louis Vuitton. Yo, our boy Matthew Bartlett from Van Eck. Yo, well, yeah, Matt, what a guy. Mia from MasterCard. Pierre from Arian. Ian Rogers from Ledger. We have somebody from Doodles. ZK Sync. Sky Mavis. I mean, it's interesting. Oh, and Roham. Yo, we got a little bit we got to talk about here about the Dapper ecosystem in a little bit. If you're a fan, stay tuned for that. And this NFT Paris token. This is probably the first thing that everybody clicks on when they get here. Join the NFT Paris community and discover Web3 projects. So they're highlighting 9DCC, which is just a clothing brand. Okay, unlock weekly rewards with this. Okay, so I guess this is like a part of this. And they do quests. That sounds like Futureverse and everything else. A lot of people doing that. Mint an NFT Paris ID to access quests. So that might be kind of something. I don't know if you can do that without having a ticket, but if anybody's interested in doing that, this is from Zeely too. Okay, so on the real note, if you're somebody that doesn't have like a whole lot of crypto within the space, you are wanting to participate, you're fine with getting kind of like smaller airdrops, like I'm talking like $20 of some like random different things. Zeely is actually a great place to go to because projects will go to Zeely to launch these campaigns to get more user, test their systems, et cetera, et cetera. So if you are wanting to check that out, it's Zeely.io, just in the top corner there. And you can see that. And as we see here, NFT Paris is a part of that. Okay, big sales over the weekend, unless this is yesterday. This was yesterday, disregardo. Seth S., who sold the autoglyphs today and it was like for 14 million or something insane, is one of the best NFT investors of all time. OG Punk claimer, he bought those glyphs after selling an alien punk to Flamingo in 21. The fact that the first thing he did today after the sale was to sweep $100,000 worth of Meebits is pure alpha. So who in the heck is Seth S? Why are they buying autoglyphs and why are they sweeping the heck out of Meebits? That is the question we have to figure out. Maybe it's alpha. Maybe they just are a fan of those collections. So we talked about the Doodles G-Shock watch a while ago. I don't think we ever actually looked at the site. So the watch ended up being $235. They have some other things here. The Alien hoodie, $174. Holy sheesh. The Alien vinyl, $257. They have I guess it's the hat vinyl for $257. And then they have socks for $30. Oh, it's hat combo, I guess. I don't know. No, it's just socks, I think. And then they have some keychains and stuff. It's pretty crazy how expensive this NFT merchandise is. Now, I'm not saying it's not top quality or anything, but holy sugar, baby. Just in, UK to release new crypto and stablecoin legislation within the next 6 months. We talked about it a while ago where apparently the UK was wanting to become a crypto hub at the start of the year, but then we kind of hadn't really heard anything from there. But Watcher Guru here highlighting that the stablecoin legislation, and that's going to be huge. I think a lot of people don't realize the influx of stablecoins kind of across the board is something not to be ignored. When you see mass amounts of stablecoins go into a certain ecosystem, be paying attention because that's where a lot of the liquidity is. Now, I wanted to highlight this again from CyberKongs because Tor, who I highlighted yesterday, that brought this up, he sent me this and I was like, okay, This is interesting because we are seeing more and more collections trying to get their holders access to seed rounds, investment opportunities, etc. So from Kong's Capital, Banana and CyberKong's Genesis NFTs power Kong's Capital. To participate in investments, you must hold a CyberKong's Genesis NFT and stake between 500 to 5,000 Banana. Increased staking increases your investment allocation. Banana will also be burned by purchasing boosters such as guaranteed allocation and investment allocation boosters. So I don't know at what point we started hitting this meta where it was, what's the correct terminology here that I'm looking for? Just helping people like invest. Like I don't think at any point we view an NFT as that. I mean, I guess if we're looking kind of the early days and something you guys might have gotten into was the Pixel Vault founders DAO saying, hey, there's all these pieces that are in this vault. If they sell them, if they make these other investments, we're kind of like a part of it in a way. We're just joining a DAO as a whole. And obviously this isn't from like the main collection, right? Like Kong's Capital's a completely different thing here. But to have that side piece that's, yeah, if you're involved in this, we'll make investments for it based off how much you stake of the token. I don't know. Kind of interesting. This is going to be insanely controversial, like ridiculously. So argue with me here if you remember. So Doyle here is highlighting day one Mooncat in the vault after seeing the huge autoglyph sale today. Mooncats were the first on-chain generative art NFTs. Okay. So if my memory serves me correctly, I think how these worked was you had to like rescue them from the chain. I don't know if it was like inputting different numbers and finding it, but it kind of reminded me when I was thinking about it, because I don't know if that's right, but my mind went there. I was like, you remember Bloot? And that's what Bloot was. You had to go into the contract. You had to type a random ID. Let's just say you type in 10,000. Okay, it's unavailable. You can't mint that one. You type in 10,056. Oh, that one's available. You go. And everybody was racing to buy these, and people went out and went kind of nuts for them for that initial mint. Now, if this is part of the narrative with this of like how they were minted, not the fact that they were the first on-chain generative art NFTs, I think, hey, that's kind of funny looking at like what Bloot was and what it became to this. But at the same time, this also is a reminder about these historic NFTs. Do people care about historic NFTs or not? Personally, yeah. It's kind of whatever for me. Again, I'm kind of more of like I'm down with the utility. I think, these things are really, really cool. But if we see, Mooncats pick up, that's a part of a category, right? Where when we see the 10K collections heat up and everybody's like, oh, these are the mainstream collections from Bored Apes, Pudgies, Azuki, et cetera, those are a cluster, right? For those historic NFTs, it's a cluster. And we kind of go down this list. And so those narratives, just something to kind of be paying attention to. Stop scrolling. Okay, we did, Geos. Relax. Pixels Online skyrockets to 261,000 daily active users on Binance listing. Whoa. Hate it or love it, Binance and Ronin are the most effective distribution channels for a Web3 game. This is a devastating pincer movement to encircle the doubters. So, we've tried to highlight the value of being launched on Binance, why people care about it, et cetera. Look at this chart. So it jumps from like under 100K to boom, and now it's just rocketing. It's basically doubling again off of the Binance involvement with this. So at a minimum, it's like doubling from being involved in Binance. So whenever you see that for any of these collections out there, obviously we had ApeCoin being realistically the only kind of NFT based one, except for like Pixels Online, which is I think the most recent one since Ape, unless I'm forgetting. But both of those were major pampas. Okay, so we talk about major brands and we discuss sports. And I was thinking about it. Do we want mass adoption? What do you mean, do we want mass adoption? Well, think about Top Shot. When Top Shot originally came out, it was made for a subset of people that were using the marketplace every single day. And it was rather small, right? Couple thousand people, and then obviously it grew, but it grew exponentially quicker, at which point the company decided, hey, we have insane demand, and we can create as much supply as we want. So we look around the space right now and you see most of the companies within Web3 have 1, 2 collections, pretty much at most for the majority besides your outliers. And so using Top Shot as an example, do we want mass adoption? Because I mean, think of for the Yuga, right? Well, okay, there's only, how many thousands of NFTs that are a part of that. And that ecosystem continues to grow and grow and grow. People are saying, oh, the valuation of these are kind of dropping as a whole. Well, one could argue that it's reaching mass adoption and it's having that same effect that happened with Top Shot, where, they're like, hey, we can put out more supply because there's so much demand for it at the expense of people, which again, the whole argument of, are NFTs actually investments? Are they just collectibles? Yada, yada. But I was just racking that in my brain the other day. And I was like, that's an interesting discussion. Do we want mass adoption? Now, we got to talk about Futureverse a little bit here because we had the first time that a collection had a quest, and it really kind of shot the floor, to be honest. People were buying grails. Everybody was all over it. And it's for an ecosystem that has been kind of in the works for a while, that I've talked about on here and I've done videos on for the Silo Network. And quest number 8, it's the initiating of the Seekers, and you get kind of different powers. You get to highlight things and see what it is. There's like a power that also determines how much you're able to stake on it, which I think a lot of people miss within the breakdown when you check out seekers.xyz. They have different classes from healers to fighters and all this stuff, and these are going to be able to be used in the metaverse, and there's different attributes from scanners, coders, all this other crazy stuff. And I'm like, damn, like we are getting to a point where we have this AI talk, we have this metaverse talk, and at some point really soon, we're going to be having these like just really cool features that people are going to be able to play in, experience, enjoy. And I don't know. I'm really excited for what is going on, how things are going. And it's just, I don't know. It's kind of exciting, to be honest. It's kind of exciting. So with that said, normally I just kind of sign off and it's whatever, but I want to open the floor. Does anybody have any extra conversations that we want to bring up? Is there anything that we discussed today you guys were like, let's talk a little bit more about? And if not, I can get the heck out of here. But if you desire, we can also chit chat a wee little bit longer. Also, just to mention as well, if you are wanting to support the stream, if you do happen to have an Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime for free. And then on YouTube, we do have memberships that I think are like $2.99, keeping it super simple for you. Cuffed music. Is that a token? Let me go look that up on CoinMarketCap. Music. Unless you just want to talk about music as a whole. Listen, I typed that in and there's music Doge. Is music Doge actually anything? That's crazy. Huddle, I'm trying to look. I'm not going to lie. I actually have Twitch open right now. I'm trying to look on like who I can do. But the problem is like, I don't really know. There's one guy that's playing Paladins that like I know that also talks about like Guild of Guardians and stuff. There's a dude that does music. There's people that play Call of Duty. There's a League of Legends guy. I mean, listen, there's some weird ones out here. Just take out the money. Music. Okay, sorry. So, I mean, the question with music is how is it going to get implemented in a way that makes sense? Right? Because it feels kind of evident that an artist is selling like an NFT, right? Like the Usher thing. And if you haven't seen, basically Usher has these NFTs that are on Flow, and they were charging like $20, and it was 10,000 of them. It's an album. You get like a digital collectible with it, and it seems like it just like stays on that platform. It's sold about like 2,000. But it's like, okay, so just like an NFT of music is the idea about supporting an artist more directly. And I think a lot of people will get behind that if that's the idea. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, like if I go to the gym, if I do whatever, like you open iTunes, you open Spotify, whatever music provider you use, you go to listen to that. So you still end up paying for that music subscription. Or, you know, if you ended up buying the songs on the ones, then there's that. But like, is there extra incentive? Is it just helping? Like, I feel like that just the aspect around music NFTs, I feel like I haven't seen like the right way for it to be implemented. Unless we're just going from, hey, buy this NFT, and then it cuts out that middleman in the studio and supports the artist directly. It's Gala Music. I know you're a founder, Gala, already. So that's the question with like Gala is they've been doing so many things. And then to add music on top of it, I'm just like, holy mother of pearl. So checking out Gala Music here. They have Snoop Dogg that also has some doodles that are highlighted on the side here. If we look at the nodes page here, nodes are back on sale. Plus, we're giving away free tracks when you buy one in our limited time bundle offer. To be part of the future of music, join our 25,000 plus node ecosystem, pair your tracks, and watch the rewards roll in. And then it highlights that. So let's click the buy now thing. Oh, so we have to verify an account. Okay, listen. I'm trying to find out all the goody details here, but they're not letting me. Gala Music node info. I don't really want to watch like a whole. Hold on, there's a review here from last year. Let's see. So Gala Music nodes are reminiscent of jukeboxes that was born after the iPod revolutionized how people listen to music. They will keep song NFTs that they've made or gotten from other users in the music nodes, and users may select the node they want to hear the music. Isn't there like a thing where you have to buy a node, but then you also have to buy the music to pair with the node, or the node doesn't earn? Or am I misremembering that? But here's what happened with Gala. They've transitioned into a layer 1 blockchain. So tokens like music are just tokens within the ecosystem, kind of how Solana has things like Bonk, Star Atlas, etc. Okay, gotcha. Consumers are more than simply a cog in the wheel in the Gala music ecosystem. They generate its energy. The distributed architect of Music Node allows for global hosting, listening, and incentives. So various musicians have released NFTs for purchase on Gala Music. Listeners and collectors alike buy music NFTs. By purchasing music NFTs from their favorite artists, fans can show their support for them and access special content and experiences handpicked by the musicians. A percentage of NFTs earnings go towards subsidizing low-cost streaming for listeners and provide resources for new musicians. Musicians and NFT holders benefit financially. They get rewarded for connecting your music NFT to a player node or a fan node. Artists and NFT owners receive token rewards whenever their songs are played on the Gala music player. Please pay attention to earning. You don't manage a node or have a music NFT? Sure, no sweat. Gala Music is improving the experience of music listening for everyone by making decentralized music more accessible. The listener will be rewarded for every stream of a song NFT by a new artist. How the hell does that work? So it's a way of like promoting new artists, I guess, based off of that, because it's like, okay, so people run these nodes. If you're able to have people stream for free, and the problem is that, you can just go listen to some on YouTube, right? So you have to go out of your way to go listen on Gala here, but you could end up finding a new artist, and that also supports the artist, but you also get an NFT from it. So do you want that free NFT? And you can go from there. Right? Maybe? Yeah, or you can just host tracks for the community and you earn 50% of whatever track you host. Okay, interesting. Trader Pops, do you think NFTs on the XRP ledger to become as attractive as ETH NFTs for investors? I think we have a weird situation at hand, because the arguments used to be about what every chain can do well. And people used to say, hey, ETH is going to be for like the high-end collectors. Solana is going to be for gaming, yada, yada, right? Obviously, the sentiment potentially changes from person to person, and those specific narratives might have also altered a little bit. I think that all that matters is it's an experience that people want to be on. Like, I don't think it matters if things are on Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, ETH, Solana, Ronin, Root, XRP. I don't. Bitcoin, right? Like, we'll add Bitcoin ordinals. I don't think any of that stuff matters. We have like these big communities that are a part of something, right? But I mean, if we look back at what was on Flow, a lot of people say, well, I don't even use Flow. There's nothing about it. But at a point, every freaking person within the space was on Flow, using it mainly for Top Shot. I mean, even before that, there was CryptoKitties, except that was on ETH. Disregard. That was on ETH, but it was Dapper and the Flow blockchain was made by the people that created CryptoKitties, right? So I think it's really just about the experiences that are created and then making those experiences able to be in a Web 2 sense or in a Web 3 sense, right? Where, you know, you have the MasterCard opportunities, you have the crypto wallet opportunities if you want, but I think the underlying tech is going to become invisible. And that's one of the biggest problems within the space right now and why people talk about it and complain about things. And I mean, from security to the ease of use, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Like naan bread, you know what I mean? Naan bread is freaking delicious. A little bit of butter chicken. Oh yeah, bro. Okay, so for the player nodes, you host a music gala node. Music is decentralized in that each listener originates from an NFT track host, allows streaming. When a player node hosts an NFT track, listeners throughout the network can access that track via a streaming service. So here's the rewards. In addition to hosting and streaming NFT tunes everywhere in Gala Music, player nodes make it possible for their owners to earn incentives in various ways. I don't know why the hell I just read that. We already know that. Okay, rewards for hard work. Every player who operates a player node will be eligible for a regular distribution as a reward for keeping their node up and contributing to the network. Question, for Cuffed, I keep like, so I have a Gala Founders node, right? But when I click into it, it shows that I keep earning like the music or Gala music tokens, but it doesn't give it to me. Like, is that just them being like, hey, you've earned this, but you'll only get it if you go and buy a music node? It feels really weird. That's the only token that does that. Hosting NFTs, an operator of a player node can pair an unlimited number of distinct songs and may also make arrangement with users to host their NFT tracks. Yo, Mick, loving, what a banger of a shirt. Sheesh, that's crazy, bro. Each listener in the ecosystem divides the fraction of the overall rewards allotted for NFT holders among the track holder and operator of the service node. And then NFTs, to guarantee that users of the player node network have access to the newest music and ensure artists quickly reach a broader audience, a tiny percentage of the total manufactured NFTs will be allocated at the chance to operators across the chain who fulfill the minimum operating criteria for that period. I think, listen, this might, I've been reading the site and I didn't even have it on the screen. What a fish. What a fish. That's unbelievable. I think like the wave that we're going to see is kind of twofold here, right? Because early days, people wanted the Gala nodes, right? And I think because the Gala nodes are so expensive right now, it's not really talked about at all, but it's something that, you know, you pay $30 to run like a virtual server a month that ends up paying for itself. And people are like, wow, woohoo, if you got in like early enough for that. And then we have this high chain node, which if anybody wants to see a FUD storm, go check out my recent video where I just highlight, like, I don't have any of the NFTs. I just thought like, hey, this might get a decent amount of views. I did a video on the Arbitrum Messiah node or whatever. Yo, shout out Ray Stinger who sent me that one. It was like a 2-minute video. Got 2,000 views for the high chain one. I think it's got like 400 or something. And there's these guys in the comments being like, this chain's stupid. How much were you paid to make this video? This is garbage. And I'm like, why do you guys hate? What's wrong with high chain node? Like, okay, you can like not agree with the prices or whatever, but I didn't think it was that serious, fam. Holy sheesh. You just need to go check it through the music website, not the Gala Games website. So go into your inventory on music.gala.com. Music.gala.com. Can you actually look up like what the tokens are worth right now? If I try to sign in, do I just do like my normal stuff here? Gated. It's I haven't even signed in for anything, and it's asking for an authentication code. Oh, okay, never mind. I did apparently get something. What the hell is this? That is crazy. 1 second. Let me see if this works. There's another one. Yo, when we clicked on that a minute ago, I got a slew of emails that I did not realize was going to be a thing. It's /music. Okay, now we have codes. Have you guys ever gotten the email of like somebody is changing your password? Has that ever scared the absolute bejeebus out of you? Except, and it was yourself, KEKW. You know what I mean? Know what I mean. I almost read the codes out there because I was like, I feel like I need to not have dead air here, but we're checking it out. We're in here. I have read and agreed the terms. I didn't read the terms. Yeah, it's not showing anything in here for some reason for that. Maybe it's under a different. Oh, yo, wag me. Hold on. We're actually rich. Oh, look at this. We're rich. 21.67 music. You posted the thing in here. Hold on. Let me grab that. Yeah, I got a new phone like last month and all my 2FAs dropped and I started getting hacked. If I didn't catch it, I swear I would have lost like $1 million. So how does that work? Have you guys ever like bought a new phone and then like all your authentication apps need to like be changed? Is that simple or is that like a huge pain? Okay, so let's do the math right quick, right? So 21.67 times 17 cents. I have $3.68, baby. Yo, we are going to make it. Oh my goodness. What? We can get a carrot muffin from McDonald's. That's fantastic. Okay, so I guess it's 0.297 total distribution. See, that's interesting because then you get to see it and then it's like there and then you're like, okay, do we want to, what do we want to do with it? You know what I mean? It was actually insanely easy with Google authentication, but it was my Microsoft Authenticator that was getting wrecked. That is tough. Holy. Okay, so when we go to these nodes, if we go to the buy now thing, so it costs 12,000 music to get a jukebox node. I'm guessing that's just what it's called. So at like 17 cents, 12,392. So, I mean, that's interesting. So for like $2,000, which is like less than an ETH, right? No, ETH is mooning, brother. Holy jeez. Look at this. Past 7 days up 13%. Past month, it's up 21. We go to the year, it's up almost 75%. That's insanity. So I mean, I guess like, I'm not great at math, but like 0.8 for a node. I mean, depending on if that ends up taking off, obviously, I feel like a lot of people have like different opinions for Gala, obviously, because of the recent, so if you haven't heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cuffed, or add anything else here, because I feel like ecosystems get tainted with them saying, so one of the founders sued another founder, but then I guess a whole bunch of like the original founder nodes went offline because of that. So the rewards got absolutely juiced. They burned an absolute ton of Gala. So it ended up shooting the price up and started to become worth it. They canceled like 2 of the games that they were working on. The BT Orb situation happened. That was a while ago, but Jesus, Murphy, that was egregious. I can't really think of anything else, but it's got some narratives to it. The BT orbs are my thing. Tell me you didn't pay 11 ETH for them. I have 74 of those. I'm the number. No, you didn't. No, okay. Respectfully, we've had some cool people in this chat, you know, like you guys are pretty cool, but to have the number one holder of BT orbs here, wow. I feel honored. That is hilarious, dude. That is incredible. Holy marbles. All right. Well, I mean, maybe we can look at the music. I mean, so actually, let me go back for a second. Hold on. What was this? So it's Gala Music. If you're trying to look that one up, you've been accumulating all bear market. Hell yeah. So looking at the chart for the Gala Music token here, it looks like it came out kind of hot and then it dipped a decent bit, but it still like seems to be in this range and then coming up here just a little bit. A market cap at 15 mil. Yeah. Total supply at $1 billion. Between now and April 1st, each BT orb will give +1 slot to music node. So I'll get 7.4 music. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that I wish was like noted more so, because I think that there is one of the problems within Web3 is that something happens and then like you're completely tainted about it until there's like an obvious notice about it, right? Where, you know, we could look earlier to the Bloot comic, right? That came out, or whatever Bloot was. And then there was all the people that were like, said, hey, you're involved with this. And one of those being G-Funk, right? Of Pixel Vault. And people, you know, he was like, I didn't really do anything for this, but then he still ended up launching a comic that was like an exclusive claim for Blute holders. And people were like, damn, like that's actually like a really cool and admirable thing that you did that. And, you know, in the relation here to the BT Orbs thing, all I've ever thought about was like, what an absolute insanity attempt at grifting a whole bunch of people for like 12 plus ETH. And they were trying to defend it even when things went wrong. And it was deplorable debacle, right? It's like Weenie Hut Juniors and Dimsdale's Dimmadome with Doug Dimmadome. And then you hear that where it's like, hey, you get like a +1 slot for those things where you're able to get, you know, kind of an extra value if that makes sense. And then long term, it just, you know, it vibes well. I like that. But a lot of people don't like find that info out. So they're always going to be tainted. But because you're here now, we know not to rag on it so much. That's what a lot of people think of them, but I see them playing out well. Well, good. I'm trying to look here for, I guess we'll try to do a raid here. We'll go with like Capone here. I haven't done this in a while, but this one's all for Hoddle Hill. You know what I mean? I said, you got to raid people when you finish on Twitch, even though I'm streaming pretty much everywhere else as well. But if we go to raid channel here and we type one in, I'll do Capone here, and then we will let that go. I'm not sure how this is going to end. Hold on. March 29th, they did an airdrop for BT holders. I had 32 back then, so I'm also earning a lot of music now from that. Now the token is live, I can use those rewards to get back and buy more orbs, which is exactly what I have been doing. Listen, doubling down, that's what we love to see. Okay, I'm going to try to hit this raid thing. I don't remember how the hell this works, so I'm going to hit start raid on this. YouTube and everything else, I'll cancel here in a second. Appreciate the hell out of you guys tuning in, of course. We're going to be back tomorrow. Let me see if I can get this rocking and rolling. Capone's playing Paladins, but he does talk a lot about NFTs as a whole, and he's heavy into Guild of Guardians. So if you are into IMX or anything like that, feel free to ask if you guys want to chat, or if you're just going to say, "I Huddle, this one is for you." Goodbye, everybody. Where's K? K, get on the point.